Hey, welcome back to 7 Minute Stories. I am here with Andy Tsouflias.
Hi.
So, Andy, tell us a little bit about yourself for the listeners.
Well, I'm Andy. I'm almost 13. I'm in 7th grade, and surprisingly, the past 13 years of my life have been kind of crazy, and that's why I'm here. So, yeah.
Well, why don't you tell us about that?
So, I was born in West Dallas, Wisconsin, and I lived a normal life for, the first 8 years. I believed in God, but our family was never too dedicated in the church. We didn't go to church, but we believed that there was a God, but we never really like dove into the Bible or anything. And then, um, when I was 8, my mom found out she was pregnant with my baby sister, and that was exciting, very exciting. And I was super excited for that to happen, and then it did happen. Everything went really good, and we lived, and it was really nice having her around, and it was having really nice being like an older brother because I really wanted to be since pretty much learned how to since I pretty much learned how to walk. I just wanted, hey, I want to, because my sister used to teach me. She used to teach me stuff like when I was younger. She used to teach me like before I even went to kindergarten. She was teaching me like the shapes and numbers and stuff, and I really wanted to do that to someone else, and I was really excited to do that. But about 11 months after she was born, it was the end of May of 2019, and she got a little sick. And we thought nothing of it. We thought, oh, it was a little bug. She'll be okay tomorrow. So we went to the doctor just to make sure, and it looked like she was fine. She just had the flu. And then tomorrow, she felt better. It looked like she was feeling better. She wasn't really vomiting as much as the day before, so everything was looking fine. And then we went, but at that night, we went back to Children's Mercy because she was starting to like get back. She started vomiting again, and Children's Mercy was like, "Hey, no, she's all right. She looks all fine. You can just go home, and everything should be good." And then that night, she got really sick, and she had around a 103.8 fever, and Children's Mercy was like, "No, a we can't do a emergency thing. We can't take her in unless it's 104 because that's in the emergency level." And we thought, all right, that's a little weird, but okay. And then we just went to bed. And then the next morning she was gone. We just found her in her crib, and she was just not there.
She died in her sleep.
Yeah, she passed away. And then that day was just kind of a blur. It was just very, very emotionally damaging, and it didn't really. And then while that happened, Pastor Rick came to our house. He was like, "Hey, you should come to the church." And the next day was a Sunday, so we did. We went to the church, and we started going every single week. And the next few months up to like 2020 was like just kind of a blur. I mean, I was like 8 or 9 at the time. It didn't really hit me that hard for some reason. I just really didn't think of it too hard. And then COVID hit, and that was an entire disaster in of itself. And then around October, around this time of 2020, I started getting like it started actually hitting me. I started feeling like a little more emotional about it. And then I developed kind of like a PTSD. Basically, like I got really, every time my mom and dad left for somewhere, if I text them and they don't respond, I just have like almost an anxiety attack. And it was really bad to the point where I'd have to like text them every 20 minutes to make sure they were fine because I was too scared of something happening. But
So you were scared of something happening to them while they were away.
yeah, I was like, my brain was going cuckoo at the time. Like, I would be trying to just focus on whatever I'm doing when I'm like home alone, and then my brain would be like, "Hey, they're probably gonna get like in a car crash or something," and I'm like, "Why? No, you don't need to do that." And then I just get like really scared because I believed that might actually happen, and there was a high chance of that happening because that's what I had for like a few months, and that was around the time I moved, so that was like April of 2021. And after a few months, I got better, and it was just a really traumatic experience because it was because now the feeling of like her loss was hitting me hard, and it was starting to get really emotional. And then I just got that really bad PTSD.
Was there something in particular that helped you kind of work through that?
I just kind of took my mind. I tried not to think about it. I just tried to make myself think, no, that's not going to happen. Everything's going to be all right.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really anything in particular. I just kind of got over it. I'm like, no, I can't let these like thoughts control over me.
Yeah. I mean, that's an active thing that, I mean, like, that's cool that you're doing that because that's what adults have to do as well, is that they have to say, no, this isn't true. Like, I'm going to refute that. I'm going to say that that's a lie. I'm going to focus on what's true. Like, that's actually a really good active thing.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
And then at the same time around October 2020, I also noticed, hey, the thing in the back looks pretty cool. That's the tech booth.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked Jake about it. He told me to ask Ryan. And then I asked Ryan about it. And he said, sure, we can probably get you into shadow. And then I started shadowing the people doing the tech booth. And soon enough, he told me that I had to be 12 to be in the tech booth. So instead I went to Kids World. And now I've been serving in the Kids World tech booth to this day. And I had to wait almost exactly a year. But now I'm finally doing I'm also doing the actual tech booth in the main service as well. So I've been really serving a lot here as well, every single week.
That's fantastic, man. I love it. I know that you're saying like, oh, it's kind of a blur. Like, I remember your guys' first Sunday. I remember your first Sunday and talking to your parents and, talking to you and your sister.
Yeah.
So that's, that was a brave and, pretty traumatic thing to go through.
Yeah. It was pretty hard. I mean, I didn't really think about it that much until like October of 2020, and then it started hitting me like, I should have a sister. I should be raising my sister. I should be raising like a baby sister. And right now, she would be I think almost 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So she would be going to kindergarten next year. And that was also kind of weird. Like, I should have a toddler running around my house and causing trouble and being a maniac.
Yeah. But I don't know, like, my personal belief on that, like I said, Chris and I lost 2 children, and we think that we're going to meet them someday in heaven. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So I think she'll be waiting for you. And, I always wonder what it's going to be like, if you'll recognize her like right away, or if she'll be like, who are you? She's like, Andy, it's me. That'll be good.
Yeah.
What else? Is there anything else? Like, how is your, you said kind of at first your parents, like, you guys believed in God. Like, how has your relationship with God grown through this?
So when I was before this whole thing happened, it was I just kind of believed, but I didn't really look into it. But so when we started going to church, I started learning a lot more about the Bible, and I started really like focusing into it and trying to learn a lot more. And it's really grown over me. Like, I've had a few times in my church career when I'm like, wow, this doesn't make any sense at all. Like, how if there's 2 separate timelines here. There's one where we had the Big Bang and everything just came out of nowhere, and then there's the second one where there's Adam and Eve and they just started the entire universe. I'm like, And then I found this really cool. Me and my dad found this really cool thing called it was like a video show called like the Truth of God or something like that, and it was basically where he would it was like the proof of God's existence. He would find it was this podcast where he would he would list out like things that basically prove that God was real and God is real, and he was the one who created the universe.
That's awesome, man. I love stuff like that. I watch Answers in Genesis and Ken Ham and all those guys. But that's fantastic. Yeah. I love when people are investigating and really trying to find a foundation for their faith. So keep at it, okay?
Yeah.
All right, thanks for coming on and sharing your 7-minute story, man.
All right. Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.
Goodbye.